Hello, creeps and creatures. Welcome to the third episode of Way Too Spooky. My name is Connor. I'm here with the co-host Chris.
Hello, everyone.
And today is a very special episode. We actually have our longtime super fan here with us. He's been with us since episode 1. He's listened to the entire catalog of our movie reviews. All 2 episodes he's been here. So we figured I finally responded to his emails, to his IG messages that he needs to be on this podcast. And we actually go back pretty far. I've known him since 2nd grade, like I've known you. But you guys go way back into the womb. He's your twin brother, Brad. Hi, Brad. How you doing?
First time, long time. Huge fan.
You are a resident Jeepers Creepers expert.
That's what I am right here. Living it, breathing it, loving it.
I'm not even really making this up. Brad talks about Jeepers Creepers for like 20-something years now, nonstop. I think he's really scared.
It's 21 years to the day, actually. It came out on August 31st of 2001. So 21 years to the day.
Tell me he's not real.
And that was not on purpose, was it, Chris? You laid that piece of information on us today.
I was trying to get Brad to come out in November, December. No, I got to come out on August 31st.
Yeah.
And we didn't realize until today why that is.
Wait, are you serious?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm getting a little freaked out, too, because I told Brad to save it for the podcast. He goes, you do also realize it's the 23rd spring? I was like, Brad, do not do this yet.
Shit.
Yeah.
So,
right?
We're going to explain what that is.
So just to give you a recap real quick, that if you don't remember this from episodes 1 and 2, we have a scientific scale 1 through 4 of rating our movies. Lots of lawyers are behind us, but lots of suits just to keep us what?
Yeah, well, it's making its way up the court system. We have a patent pending spectrum to rate these movies.
Yes.
And we're going to tie this episode up like we do all our episodes with that rating system. So you other podcasters, horror movie podcasters out there, back off. Our lawyer team's way, way more powerful than yours.
So again, to remind you, the lowest scale out there is a 1 for Spookless. That means it has absolutely no spookiness to it. Yeah. 2 being not too spooky. It's getting there.
Right.
3 is spooky, which is, I'd say, the average movie, that gets a good review. And then there's way too spooky, which is far beyond our expectations from a spooky meter.
Yeah, I would just call
spooky
that
or scary. Like, what do we? I want to just what's spooky? Like, let's level set.
Well, let's dive into it.
We're gonna get to that. We're gonna explain it at the very end. But we just wanted to give all our new million listeners who have come on in the past episode or 2 of that's how we're going to rate it. But before we do it, I'm just going to give my general thought on this movie. I thought it was very good. What about you, Chris?
I thought it started off well.
Yeah.
I think it was a really good beginning, which we'll get into. But the movie, once you get to the psychic scene, which again we'll get into, the movie just turns to complete and utter garbage.
I mean, that's completely how I looked at it. Yeah. I seriously I sat there watching it, and I get to the end, and it's, don't you see the cats?
And if you didn't pick up on the movie that we're going to talk about today, it is the 2001 classic Jeepers Creepers.
Yeah. Real quick facts. The director is Victor Salva. He's also known for his Jeepers Creepers 2 and 3, with a 4th coming out, but he did not direct that.
No, he's definitely not part of that.
No, he's not. And we'll get into that in just a moment. But he also he directed that movie Powder with Sean Patrick Flannery. The role, that
was a weird movie.
Jeff Goldblum?
The Albano guy, he just goes into electricity. Yes, yeah. It's a good movie if you want to see Jeff Goldblum run in a field.
I've actually never seen the whole thing.
Yeah, no, it's a shitty movie. And then he's also known for the 1989 classic Clown House. And I say a classic because actually it's not. That's where he was convicted, this director, as being a sex offender. He had molested a 12-year-old boy. Not to get too dark on it, but that kind of puts a bad taste in my mouth about this movie, too.
Doesn't Freddy have the same back? Well, that was the story.
No, this is a legit person. The director of this movie is a registered sex offender for molesting a 12-year-old.
That's why they were so hesitant on bringing the 3rd one out, because it was this whole thing.
Well, we were not hesitant to go out to see that movie, I'll tell you that.
Well, we didn't know that. The internet didn't exist in 2001.
Oh, and if you guys want to go see I separate
the art from the artist.
I'm sure they'll take you in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I heard that, and then I found out they got a new director for the final 2. But I mean, at the end of the day, I'm there to see the creep.
It's a new trilogy.
Yeah, I mean, you can get this movie for free. I'm not giving a dime of my money, so you can easily watch Jeepers Creepers, any of them on any of the Tubi.
And that's why we went. That's why we went to see the third one in theaters, right? But we'll get into that.
We'll get into that.
So let's just keep going real quick, just so we can get into this movie. Yeah. But some real quick box office figures. It's $60 million in the box office, which has helped it to spawn two more hits. Hits. Second one being okay, the third one being absolute abysmal. It's the worst thing I've ever seen. It got a 46% on Rotten Tomatoes, and it made. Man. And Jeepers Creepers 2 made $120 million, so it actually doubled. So it stars Gina Phillips, who's Trish.
Yeah. We're going to get into that? Can we get into that?
Sure. And Justin Long is Darius Dari Jenner. Yeah. You also know him from Dodgeball. And one of my favorites, Zach and Miri Make a Porno. He's Brian St. Randy, the gay guy. It is the...
Do you know where orchids grow? Yeah, it's a good one.
So I'm not a fan of the guy, but we'll go on. Yeah. I just didn't like him in his role. Yeah, that's all.
So we'll jump into it. And then there's a guy named who plays the Creeper. That's also
Jonathan Breck.
That's played Jonathan Breck. Yeah, he plays the Creeper. And then the psychic that we talked about is
Giselle,
Patricia Belcher.
Gotcha.
All right.
So I will tell you the way I think about a certain movie. This is 20-something years later now. You could think a different way about it, but I remember this is a vintage Schleier basement movie, 2001.
Sure. Oh yeah, we had it on DVD.
Yes.
Yeah, because I went and spent my money on it at Blockbuster in Richmond.
Paid full price.
Yeah,
for
but when this movie first came out, I don't think there had been a legit like monster movie like
that we grew up with.
Yeah, I mean, I think about like you had slashers, you had Michael Myers through the 90s and all that stuff, but there wasn't like a weird creature like him, like an actual demon. I don't even know what the hell he is. He's like a bat.
Creep. He's a creep.
Bat. Was he? I don't know, but I like his hair in the back.
His hair?
He's got that. He's got that, and he's become more of a character as the movie goes on, and as they made the installments for 2 and 3. Yeah. But to your point, it still gave me that feeling when I was watching in the beginning because they're on that long stretch of road, and the whole brother-sister dynamic was corny.
Route 9?
Yes.
But the
sister dynamic, I couldn't do it.
But that truck coming up quietly.
Oh yeah.
That movie grabbed me from the beginning because they didn't draw attention to that his truck come speeding up behind them, and then that horn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of, which is a whole nother fascinating thing about this movie. He has like his license plate says "Be Eating You."
Yeah.
So they play this game where they're trying to figure out what people's license plates are.
Yeah.
Right.
But I was like, so did this? Mind you, he only comes around every 23 years. Did he
for 23 days? I mean, like so the rest of the time he's vacationing.
He found time to get this license plate. Customized to him.
Not only that,
he fills up gas, and he has to get the car inspected.
Was there a state
right.
on it?
And he's got wings, right? He can fly everywhere. Why is he driving?
Well, I think
gas
daytime.
Prices are good.
I don't think. Yeah.
2001.
Oh, he'd be so upset at the gas prices today.
The creep would not.
He'd be driving a Tesla.
He would be driving a Tesla. A black Tesla with the creeper inside.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So he drives.
That. Let's hope it's in the new one.
It still had the mystery in the beginning. And the scene that really got me, and I think it got everybody, is when they're driving back and the creep is tossing the bodies down into that well, the church well.
Oh, yeah.
And he stops and stares at them. He just stands up real straight.
And this is before you've seen him.
Yeah. That was creepy.
Whoa, yeah. It was creepy.
The movie's still good at that point.
It's still good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you know where this is just personal opinion. The part where it takes just a complete right turn is when Justin Long goes, "Hey, we should go back."
Yeah,
and I just stopped and I go, I would have been gone.
Well, that bothers me too because it's kind of like you want to if you saw something that terrible, and this is 2001, so of course they got like these bullshit phone you had back then, like the flip phone. It reminds me of the phone I had for years.
Chocolate?
But they were in such a long stretch of road. But that's the last generation of a movie that could bank on we're out of service to a cell phone right now. So we have to go back there because we can't possibly make it to the police right now. So they go back there. And that whole well scene was really good.
Yeah.
When you first saw it.
When see the cinematography when he falls into the well? And he goes down really slow?
Yeah.
I thought, did you think it was good up to this point? And then when he finally was able to shed the flashlight on the top of the ceiling of the basement, and you saw all the beautiful artwork.
Yeah, he's like a nest. He's a weird. What is he? He's like a bat's nest.
And he sewed them all together. I don't know what it is.
They compare it to the Sistine Chapel.
Well, what's real weird?
That stood out to me.
What's weird to me is like I don't know what day in his feeding schedule it is after 23. Let's say it's day 17 because I don't know what it is.
Like, were they lunch?
It seems like everyone else is surprised. What has he been doing the first 17 days?
He's picking off a lot of people.
Chris,
but apparently this is a long stretch of road where people
I don't
just
think you
disappear.
understand that this film has legs in franchises history. You could literally make a universe out of this, kids. We're talking with hiya, pal. We're gonna maybe have another Jeepers Creepers universe. Let's just say we're talking to somebody like that.
Brad, Disney is no longer one of our sponsors. You can't even reference Mickey Mouse anymore. They dropped us after episode 1.
Yeah,
So, really,
they didn't like that.
Well, to your point...
You guys have New Line Cinema, don't you?
But to your point, for
sure.
2001, it was interesting.
Yeah.
It definitely caught our attention. I thought it never really got bad to me. Like, if I watch it now, it took that turn.
Yeah, it's watchable.
Yes.
Yeah.
But in 2001?
Yeah.
That was scary.
Yeah.
Of course it was.
Yeah.
And like, when I rate a movie, I kind of have to go back to when it came out anyway. And it still holds up a tiny bit, just assuming you've never seen the third one.
So they get out of it. So Justin Long and his sister, they get out. I keep forgetting his sister's name. What is it? Patricia. Trish.
Yeah.
They get out of that well or his nest, and they go to.
I wanted to see them get out.
They go to a diner, right, to tell everyone of what's going on.
Where the townspeople are. They're always the townspeople.
Did you notice they all got real quiet as soon as everybody walked in?
Sure, like they don't belong
Did they do
here.
that with everybody?
I don't know, but the most amazing. This is where the movie, I think, just takes an absolute downturn. So it's like really good at that point. I'm like, oh, this is good. And it seems like the director maybe just thought of like just for random ideas. So they get a phone call, just a random phone call on like a landline that's off like a back hallway near the restrooms, and it just so happens to be this psychic woman.
Oh, she's my favorite.
And she's horrible, right? Though she tells everyone about, she tells them about the creeper, and every 23 years for 23 days he feeds.
And she was so exact on her timeline.
How does she know this?
It's kind of like, lady.
Her dreams, dude.
She goes,
what?
wait, yeah. She goes, you think I like knowing these things? She goes, I don't like knowing these things. And then that's when she goes on to explain in detail of when he feeds, how he feeds. And then I was kind of like, lady, like, you could have given a heads up to the rest of the town here. Like, she literally could have left a week before and been in the clear. And she's the most shocked person of all.
This is one of the things that I actually I don't know how I caught on it, but like she's like, at one point she walks in, she goes, I drove all the way it took me so long to get down here.
Yeah.
And then at the very end, she's like, ask people around town, I'm the crazy lady. Where the hell was she living that she drove all the way down there? She's
the police officers tell her to go home. Like, there's always an element of, that's just a town crazy person. Don't listen to the person who's actually giving you some insight that could save your life.
Right.
Here.
They don't want to believe her, the two kids.
No,
yet they've already seen the creeper.
That's what bothered me too, because the
like,
sister kept telling her, like, what are you talking about? Like, did you not see this thing flying around? Like, they already watched it sever that police officer's head and eat his tongue. And she acts like this lady is just the craziest person.
Right. Oh, no, no, Trish was just not, no. The whole thing about her, she was like this overprotective sister. I had, like, the hardest time believing that they were related to
And their dumb comments to each other, like, nose licker, butt licker, and all this
stuff. Times a million.
But that's how we talk to each other, Brad.
That's true. And ever since we were in the womb.
Yeah.
All the way until 2001, August 31st, when Jeepers Creepers came out, and that's all you talked about after that.
So the one thing that the Jeepers Creepers monster...
Jeepers Creepers wings on my back.
The Jeepers Creepers monster really likes to sniff out his next body part.
He smells fear.
He smells fear, and he likes to smell. And so I think when I learned about the director and being like a child molester, I'm thinking he probably worked that in. Like, did he like to smell? Remember he was smelling his clothes outside of his car? He broke into his car. He was smelling his underwear.
Yeah.
I remember this, like, I maybe this is like Mandela effect, but I swear I remember a scene where he picked up the clothes and started sniffing them.
We did. We just said that.
Well,
you never see it.
You don't see it, but maybe I'm wrong.
Wait.
You never see it.
No, he smells. He smelled the psychic. He smelled a few other people, but the clothes. No, I don't think so.
I swear.
And
I don't know.
so I also tried to bring.
I don't
When I was watching it 2 nights ago, I tried to bring the Jeepers Creepers monster into today's day and age, right? Where everyone's kind of all about like being followed, and or,
You'd have a Tinder.
They want to, they want to do all this and all that. They want to be on shown up. It's kind of a badge of honor to be smelled out by the Jeepers Creepers monster, right?
That means you have something he covets.
Yeah, he covets a creature from God knows where covets a piece of your body part.
God does not know where this thing came from. The devil does.
Imagine his like profile, his dating profile. Like he'd probably pick up so many like freaks.
I got sniffed out by the Jeepers Creepers monster last night.
Yeah.
What'd you do?
He goes, well, I think he's after me because he wants my large cock.
Right.
And I'm like, no, that'd be like a spinoff to it. And he just gets like a huge, and the cock is so big, his bat wings can't even get him off the ground, and that's what finally does him in.
So actually, that brings me to a question.
He wanted too much. He overshot.
So I was actually thinking about this. This is a question I wanted to ask you.
Greedy.
If the Jeepers,
And I'm up there, dickless, just sewn in with all these other people in the cathedral ceiling, just empty right there.
Smile on his face.
good.
He only goes after the dick, though.
Yeah, that's it. He goes, he wants mine. She goes, Jeepers Creepers, where'd you get that cock?
Imagine him getting it down. He makes the Jeepers Creeper monster makes this very specific noise when he eats. So it's gulp.
Yes. And in case there's people out there who don't understand Jeepers Creepers, he goes after certain body parts that he likes. I guess he's
it's not that he likes that. If he loses, he needs them. Yeah. So if like you lose,
remember he's eating the prisoner.
He eats the prisoner's foot.
The prisoner's foot because he got his foot because he got.
Yeah. Oh, I thought he just covets the best one.
No,
he covets he needs a new body part.
Oh, see, that's why I was confused.
In the second one, they've got the really
he gets a new head right away. His metabolism's insane.
Well, that's why I was confused because there's a scene where I was like, wow, how ugly he is. He's got some beautiful blue eyes. I'm like, why would he want? Who's the character's name? The main character, Long.
The creep.
No, the one who takes his eyes.
Justin Long.
Justin Long. Like, not there's anything against brown eyes, but it's kind of like he had really nice eyes.
Yeah,
Ready?
He didn't need new eyes.
He didn't need new eyes. That's why. I think he just wanted an upgrade.
Well, here's a
because I want brown eyes.
The last
so that's
scene in that movie when you see him tinkering around and like cutting Justin Long open. Do you know who played the creeper? Justin Long. Justin Long actually got up at the end, and it's Justin Long's eye in the cutout of Justin Long.
Well, I mentioned this in my
Instagram. I mentioned this. Like, I don't know.
Well, Chris actually posted.
Yeah, I mentioned that in the Instagram post. I don't know if you saw that, but because Justin Long's a method actor, right? Like I don't know if you've heard of that.
So he got the creeper.
Well, no, he got really into the role actually, and for that last scene because he really wanted to make it look realistic.
I know.
He offered to remove the back of his head and his eyes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I mean, it paid off. What I told you guys earlier, they made $60 million. So.
$60 million to do that?
Yeah.
Wait, how much did he get paid to do that?
No, the movie made $60 million.
I was like, you paid Justin Long $60 million for Jeepers Creepers?
No.
Yeah, and the truth is,
he should have paid him more. He should have been paid like Robert Downey.
No, there were some contract issues with this movie. I did some further research into it. They did not pay the creep, and he was not too happy. He ate the guy. He ate the director. Is what happened.
Oh my gosh, we're getting a little bit of static. I don't know why.
We are. I don't know if the listeners are going to be able to hear that static, but I have a sneaky suspicion that
it might be the creeper.
There you go. Bingo. He's
Bingo.
Here. He's here. I hear something walking.
I do have a question though before we move on to the next part where because the movie starts to break apart really when the psychic came in. But if the Jeepers Creeper monster was to come after you, what body part do you think that he would take?
Those baby hazels.
I was going to say Brad's juicy ass.
Oh, he would definitely eat my ass.
Oh, I could tell if I saw the creep. Yeah. He had that big old peach walking around. I'm like, oh no, he got Brad. I would immediately say that. I'm like, he's gone.
It's just a big greased up ass.
And then there's just Brad, just no ass, just sewn together.
You know that the creep would be looking at me all creepy though. Like he'd be looking.
He'd be checking out your ass.
He'd be checking me out. Right. He'd be eyeing me.
You know that grin he does? He'd be looking at it like that. He'd be like that.
He'd sniff your ass. He'd be like, yeah.
You should smell it your ass.
Oh,
minty fresh. It's minty fresh for the creep.
So what about you, Connor? What body part do you think he'd eat?
Well, I don't know. I'll say this: the dude would just have ripped abs. I'll say that. He'd be walking around shirtless. A creep.
Cut.
Yeah.
Just cut.
That or my wings. He needs the wings.
Oh, that's what gets him.
You're like, oh yeah. And my wings just flip out.
If you don't know about the creeper has bat wings.
Where does he get the wings from?
It was that or a pterodactyl. Those wings
who does he eat to get the wings back?
Here's
what about his spider head?
All right. Well, I'm glad you said that because
a lot of questions.
So he's pretty mythological, and I don't know who stuck around to figure out this pattern that he comes back every 23 years. But I think he goes back to like ancient times.
It's an almanac.
Something like that. But I did notice, and I just picked this up for watching it again like yesterday. In the basement of the church, there's like a wooden door carve out, and it's got like when his face opens up at the end, it's like a carve out of his face.
Oh, I didn't pick up on that.
I picked up on it yesterday. I was like, oh, and they related to the church. So I think he has to be demonic. He goes way back. That's just what I've taken from it. So I think he's like a bat out of hell or something.
I mean, honestly, it would give us more answers than questions like Jeepers Creepers 3 did. Jeepers Creepers 3 was Jeepers Creepers 3 was one of those films that literally I questioned what I did. Afterwards.
So I'm thinking we just, because I watched the second and the third one. I think it's probably a good idea to kind of let's move to the end of this one. Let's graze over the second and the third one because the new one's coming out in late September.
Yes, and the reason why we're doing a couple of these because the new installments are coming out in October, and to all the hardcore franchise fans out there of Jeepers Creepers, by all means, send us a message. We could totally just focus on Jeepers Creepers 2 and 3 separately.
Okay.
But this was more about Jeepers Creepers 1, but we will talk about, like you're saying right now. But if you really want a whole separate episode on just number 2 and 3.
That's a lot. Yeah.
We will. No, I'm saying let's go forward with what you're talking about.
Okay.
Yeah, let's wrap it up. But I'm like, if they thought it was deserving to have its own episode, we're just going to talk about 2 and 3.
No, I don't. I just want to wrap up the first episode so that everyone gets an idea as to second, third one, so that as they go into the fourth one,
yes,
there's no.
No, I'm agreeing with what you're saying here.
Yeah.
I think we need to just talk.
Jeepers Creepers universe.
Yes,
I like it.
I think we need to talk about 2 and 3 just a little bit, just in case there's somebody who just needed to hear something before they see the fourth.
Yeah.
But my point was, if there's like a diehard Jeepers Creepers fans, like I need to see a whole episode on 2, but send us a message. At some point, we'll just focus on that movie.
Sure, absolutely.
So anyway, the overall movie, because we still have to rate number 1 anyway.
Yeah.
I thought it was very Halloweenish 4 or 5 when all the cops were in the, when
the precinct.
Then it started to get real corny for me.
Yeah. Well, because
he's sniffing the glass.
He sniffs the glass, and he grabs. She's like, pick me, and he's looking at her with his baby hazel or his baby blues.
You must have said baby hazel.
But baby blues. I mean, they're beautiful, and he. Take me, and he takes his wings out and he just like flies off into space, which looks so unrealistic. Yeah. He winds up taking Justin Long's character, which at the very end you come to find out.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, well, that's all right.
Well, it's on the IG page.
Yeah, but you come to find out that Justin Long's eyes have been taken, which
Jeepers Creepers, where'd you get those peepers?
That's right.
And that's something that the psychic would drop hints.
Yeah.
She goes, the song or the cat lady. Remember the cat lady?
Why couldn't she just tell them? Like there's a creature coming to kill you.
Yeah, I don't know.
She did, but that sister didn't want to hear any of it.
This is nonsense.
So the movie,
no, it's not.
So the movie ends, right? So then you go 2 years in the future, 2003, Jeepers Creepers 2 comes out, which I thought was actually there was some good parts to Jeepers Creepers 2 as well. There's a lot more creeper in it.
Yeah,
I mean, he's in the whole movie. He's not really creepy,
right? Yeah. The mystery of what this thing.
But they kind of give him a little bit more of a personality. He's kind of funny in this one.
He is. He grins a lot more.
Yeah. I like when they're kind of going. So there's kids on the bus. I think it's a basketball team or a football team.
Championship basketball team.
They just won the championship and then they're on the way back. And one thing I do like about this movie is they kind of put you towards the character in the very back seat. It's like he's like kind of the pissed off jock. And I think he's the main character, but he actually winds up being like he gets eaten almost relatively early in the movie. Yeah. So it's like I like when they take it. It's like almost like a red herring. They kind of take you off the path of who's going to be the survivor.
And he's got action tools on him. This is where he really whips out his Chinese stars, right?
Yeah. Well, the worst thing of it all.
And he's running through the cornfield.
Oh my god!
And he takes out the bus. So they kind of. In the first one, remember he took out his axe and cut off.
Yeah.
I'm like, I didn't see that coming. I didn't realize he had tools. Yeah. Like, where is he keeping that axe? Like under his wing or something?
He's got like an ancient Chinese star now.
He does. So he's like, yeah, he ate it.
He ate it.
So he has weapons. If you like weapons, this creeper He's got weapons. He's
got
got axes and Chinese stars and
Oh yeah.
blades.
He doesn't mess around in this one.
No, and this is where
Justin Long's belly button is on the throwing star.
How did they know that was a belly button? I was wondering.
Well,
I don't know.
wasn't his tattoo that dumb rose tattoo he
Yes.
has on there?
Doesn't really look like a belly. I don't know what.
Like maybe he was on like pictures from like high school. Maybe he's on the swim team.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know,
Who knows?
maybe he's got a very distinct belly button.
So two kind of focuses around that school bus.
Yep.
The team. They keep the mystery going of every 23 years she comes back, which this was 23 years later?
This was day 22 going into day 23.
Right, but did this movie come out? When did this movie number 2 come out?
In 2003, but it's all supposed to be in the same time frame.
Oh, so he was just getting busy during that whole.
Yeah, they're kind of showing you the other days of his adventure.
Oh, he.
Do you understand why I'm saying? Do you understand why I'm saying now they should really make a franchise? You could make 23 awesome Jeepers Creepers films.
Do you understand why we
Put him in
had you
space,
on?
I don't care.
I mean, this guy knows everything.
Yeah.
About Jeepers Creepers. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah, you should direct the fourth or fifth, or the fourth one's coming.
The fifth one?
The fifth one.
I don't. Want
What would you
to,
call
I
it?
don't want
Jeepers Creepers what?
Retribution.
Retribution,
Probably
yeah.
something.
That would sound
Oblivion.
good. They always use that. Yeah, or Resurrection.
But I remember Jeepers Creepers 2 being entertaining because there's no mystery. He had some really good kills.
Yeah, some of the kills are good in this one. I like the ones when he starts
Chops
to pick,
heads off a lot,
he
that's
starts
the
to
thing.
pick the people off like from the
Yes, like an actual bat.
like a bat. He comes down, swoops down, grabs him, and just
Into
takes
the
him out,
night.
takes
Into
him
the
into
night he
space with
goes.
him.
There you go. Poof.
Like I don't know where he's going.
But that was cool because in the first one they alluded to that because remember they found his like fingerprints that turned into dust on the car.
Yeah,
And then they look up in the sky. I'm like, oh, this thing flies.
he's kind of
We
like
didn't know that in the movie though.
he reminds me a little bit of a hoarder.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he doesn't need any of these body parts, but he's taking them anyways. It's almost like he's just got backup eyes and like backup teeth and backup heads.
He's like a liver. He just regenerates itself.
What's the purpose of him? He
Of
just
him? Of the creeper?
yeah,
Just feeds, man.
just feeds.
Well, could
I
you?
tell you, how else do you think?
And you know
you've
what?
heard of intermittent fasting? This guy takes it to just a completely different level.
Listen,
he does it every 23
if you
years,
woke up at a
whatever it is.
23-year coma,
I'd be hungry for.
you'd
a
be
foot.
eating for 23 days straight.
Speaking
Trust
of
me.
Chris, what would you let the creeper eat? Because we said my ass because this thing is just a plump rump.
He would never eat
It's like
another
two
ass again.
hams.
He would
He
never
wouldn't.
eat it.
He wouldn't.
Unless he found Kim Kardashian, he would never touch another.
No,
bone.
he wouldn't. He likes the real thing.
Yeah.
Well, wait. So you're gonna eat your ass,
Connor's dick.
Yes, definitely.
Connor's dick.
100%.
Well, what does that leave for me?
And my abs. My dick
No,
and
your
my
abs. Your
Yeah.
abs.
I think he'd. That's a good question.
Your wits.
My wits?
No, I don't know, man.
He'd eat my brain?
Yeah. No.
He's not gonna eat my eyes. I have bad eyes.
Well,
They
would you
don't
be
shit.
insulted if he sniffed you head to toe and it's kind of like, nah?
But thank
Look,
God.
I have nothing to give you.
Oh, thank God. Yeah, you'd almost.
Right.
Would you be? Would you?
Like, I'm not even the creep wants me.
That's what I'm saying. Imagine him on a dating app. He goes out for his first date, walks in, he does that cheesy grin, gives her the wink, and she sees his wings and he sniffs her.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, it'd be creepier if he smelled
That's
the clothes.
what my movie would be about. I'm putting the creep on the internet.
I did think about this before, but I was kind of like, I'm going to leave it up to the super fan to do this one.
Right.
So, by all means, please run away with the Jeeper Creeper.
My idea for the new Jeepers Creepers.
I think with all the sponsors we have, we could actually fund a
new Jeepers Creepers.
Absolutely, we could.
Yeah, well, the way that I see this, and guys, please feel free because we're brainstorming here. Super fans out there of Jeepers Creepers as well. Imagine him on a dating site, right?
Yeah.
Now he's going around. He's creeping online now. So
Oh,
you
yeah.
took it to the now.
They're like he's quiet but mysterious.
Right. He's kind of like Edward from Twilight.
Yeah.
But he's just the creeper. He walks around in his big hat, this big. He wears a duster.
I like his outfit.
Where did he buy that?
I really do like.
His turnarounds are like fear.
You know what? And I really like
Turn on fear. I eat ass. That's straight in his
his ass looks great in the duster because he eats your ass so much.
He does, man.
Yeah. I like his red shirt too. In the third one,
The third one, he gets a brand new.
he has a brand new red
All
shirt.
right.
Where did he get that
Was
from?
2 okay? Movie?
J.C. Penney.
Was 2.
Two is okay.
And we will rate all 3.
I like
by the way.
I really like the way that the 2 ended. We don't want to give too much away because
Underrated, too.
It is. But
Yeah.
the dad, who also I don't remember his name in that.
He's in the Tim and Eric movie.
He is.
Shrim.
And he sat there with the shotgun at the end. That thing was
The
crucified
bolt
on
gun.
the farm.
It's the pole. Like
Yeah.
It's the thing that like launches poles into the ground, which I don't even know if that's a real thing.
But
And he was like a dehydrated
true.
like bat. He was waiting for this thing to come back.
Yeah, he went.
But then he had its weapon on the end of it. Remember?
He went into
As a
hibernation.
spear.
Yeah, he went into hibernation right before the. And I like how he stabs him like nonstop at the very end. Blood's coming out. Like he's almost got him beat. And then he's like, oh, it's over.
And that's always a common mistake in these movies. They kind of like they beat this person, but they don't finish him. So in the first one, when they were running over the car multiple times, I'm like, all right, that ought to do it.
Yeah.
But that's when you realize this thing just regenerates. So number 2, he really had to kill this thing.
But like, listen, in the animal kingdom, what does he? Where does
It's
he
Ray.
fit?
It's Ray
He's at the
Weiss.
Cape May Zoo.
Right now?
Yeah, he's
Is
there
he-
right
is he
now.
sleeping?
It's a free zoo, dude.
Oh, he's sleeping till next year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
But I like the fact
What
that
next year is
it's a
23rd
simple.
2023.
Oh, beware!
No, it'll
Creeper.
be
He's coming back.
2024. He'll be coming back. That's 23 years.
But Chris, that was the movie was released a year after. It was made in 2000.
Gotcha, okay.
Right. So it was filmed in 2000.
See why we had him on?
Yeah.
Resident
It's-
expert.
it's-
I'm an expert.
It's the moments there's moments like those that I don't pick up on.
You don't think
You're
about it.
amazing. Absolutely
Where do you
amazing.
come up with this?
But real quick, I like the dad in the second one because I think he's trying to avenge his son who's been taken by the creeper in the beginning.
Yeah.
And he like somehow in a matter of like 11 hours, he welds with his son like a bolt gun, not even knowing what he's doing that for yet at the point, other than he just knows this giant bat took his son out of
Chris,
a
you'll
cornfield.
get there with your sons.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
So he welds something.
11 hours. Give me 10.
So you got to give it to the guy. He's a master engineer or craftsmanship. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And then at the very end, I like some movies. They say, oh, you wait till the end, and then he's like, oh, he's dead, and he gets killed. Well, this guy doesn't die.
I just would have moved if I were him. That's the thing. Like, he knows it's coming
he
back.
He gets the creeper and he waits. He waits for 23 or more years. He's an old man now at the very end. I like that because he's like,
Yeah.
he still hasn't gotten over the fact that motherfucker took his son 23 years ago.
Oh yeah.
You know?
But I still would have moved and then come back like that around that time that year.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not going to just hold a shotgun when I know these things will not come.
I'm gonna go east for 22 years.
Yeah,
and come
I'm not
back
going to
and
ruin my life completely.
Yeah.
You think I could get Liam Neeson for this? For the new role?
Well, it's weird you say it. Liam Neeson is Jeepers Creepers. He played Jeepers Creepers in the second one.
That's wow. I didn't know that.
Complete waste of money because you didn't even know it was him.
Can you imagine? I've got a specific set of skills. Like he just gets up there,
Yo, Jeepers
pulls out
Creepers
his
got
little
skills.
blade. Oh, he got skills.
I think that is Liam Neeson. Yeah, it is
That's-
Liam Neeson. Now that I think about it.
Or
Yeah.
Patrick. What was the guy's name? Who played Gandalf? What was that guy's name?
Patrick Stewart?
No, that wasn't Patrick Stewart. That was
That was
Professor
Star
X.
Trek guy.
What was his name?
Yeah.
Anyway,
but
it
anyways,
wasn't
not
him.
Ewan McGregor.
But the one thing is this. Here's my
Imagine-
biggest worry
Hello.
or issue with this entire movie with that. Like, I like the whole storyline, but this guy, you have to assume, is still hearing this whole 23 days for 23 years, like, story from some random girl on a bus. And he's just taking that to heart. So what has he been, for 23 years, he's got to assume that that's correct? Or is every day he's just sitting out there? What did he do with the rest of his life?
The moment you saw that thing, you wouldn't. I would be like, okay.
Wouldn't you try to set it on fire?
He hung him up.
Like,
Yeah.
I would burn that thing.
Exactly. It's kind of like
He put him up and out of the way for a little while.
He's like, oh, I'll put him up there.
yeah, you can just disintegrate
Let him come
it
back.
Yeah, keep him in like
completely in a jar, like his ashes in a
a
jar.
bury him.
Expert, right? His skin's dry anyway.
Yeah.
Well, which brings us to the third installment.
Ooh.
Which is the
Who's the
best.
hand?
Wait, before we even get into that, let's just talk about where and why and when we saw the third one.
One of you, I believe it was you,
Yeah.
said, "Are you seeing Jeepers Creepers 3?" And I said, "Wait, there's a Jeepers Creepers 3 out?" And you said, "Yeah." And then I'm pretty sure it was just 24 hours before. And you're like, "It's playing at the Warrington Theater."
The Regal.
And I remember I texted my brother Danny. I was like, "Yo, did you know Jeepers Creepers 3 was out?" He goes, "Fuck no, I didn't know it was out." He meets us up for Tall Boys
At Red Robin.
At Red Robin.
Wait, but it wasn't just. It wasn't.
We
Isn't that the same
no.
night that Carson Wentz went down with his massive knee injury?
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
No, that was the room.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it
No,
was.
it wasn't.
Different
Is it-
movie. Different movie. That was when we saw the Disaster Artist.
Ah, yes, you're right.
We went. We
Yeah.
met at
Good
Red.
memory.
But
In your blueberries.
before we even went to Red Robin, and we spent what $40 each for dinner.
We got Tall
And
Boys
beers.
and Endless Basket of
we
Fries.
we were so worried.
By the way, that's our sponsor. Thank you.
the
Red
movie was
Robin.
only going to be a one night showing. You remember that? And we were so worried that it was going to get sold out.
and we also were
wait, that we purchased the tickets online, and there was a $6 convenience fee per each ticket. Yeah. So I think we each spent $24 per ticket.
So and then we get there.
Then we go to Red Robin and spend $40 to $50.
You hadn't seen my brother in a long time, and then it's not like I see my brother all the time, but it's kind of like, yo, I said, I don't know, Jeepers Creepers, and we toasted our beers, and we get there, and then we're like, yo, all the creeps are out. And I remember we saw two people there that were like, yeah, the creeps, man. Just like the hardcore, only the hardcore fans went to that movie, and then only a week later it hits TV. I'm like, what the fuck?
I don't even think it was a week.
What a waste of money!
Friday.
It literally was that same week.
We saw it on like a Sunday.
You didn't paint the scene correctly. It was a theater that had probably sat 200 people. There was between
it was a nice theater, actually.
There was about 192 seats open when we were watching it. The movie did not sell out at all.
They did not even advertise this movie.
No, and not only that, we were kind of like hype. So I'm thinking we spent all this money.
We were excited for this.
And what year was that? 2018?
I don't even care. I want to forget that because it was a waste of money that night. It
wasn't a waste.
Well, we haven't forgotten it in a way. But yeah, we got Red Robin. We spent all that money Red Robin on the tickets,
Chris,
the convenience fees.
Endless basket of fries. It was not a waste.
He's right, Chris.
True, the Red Robin.
You pay for as many fries as you want.
That's true.
How many baskets do you think you get when you go?
I went back there. I was eating them the next day. I'm like, this time being closed. It's endless.
I paid my hard-earned money.
And you know what? And here's the funny thing. Well, on Facebook, you could just tag somebody in watching this movie. My brother Danny just made up the name of the movie. Yeah. It was like Jeepers Creepers 3, but the part that he made up, it was called The Creep Walks Amongst Us. And I just assumed it was called that. But then I remember you laughing. You're like looking over me. You're like, we're all tagged in it. And I was like, what? You go, that's not the name of the movie. So you could just call a movie. I didn't know you could just add on to the title.
You can't do that anymore. Facebook's changed a lot. You can't do anything like that anymore.
I'm like, of course this is called The Creep Walks Amongst Us. Why would I even question it? Danny just flat out just made up the title. And we're watching. He comes out like, yeah, Jeepers Creepers 3, Creep Walks Amongst Us. Tags us all in. There we are watching it. And then the expert here is like, that's not what it's called.
The movie wound up being
I think all I had to do was Google it.
All you had to do was Google it.
So we wound up watching the movie, and I'll tell you right now, we can cut to the chase. I don't remember a single goddamn thing.
I had more questions. We had way more questions. The movie was
the hand got buried.
They focused on the truck.
Remember the old woman?
The truck had special
powers. He wore
powers.
a red sweater. The creep wore a red sweatshirt.
He had a brand new red shirt. Remember? He had to go shopping for that shirt.
I think his duster was a different color too.
He's a completely different creeper.
And his truck is like the Batmobile, apparently.
Yeah, it can track onto people and shoot spears at them.
His truck's insane.
Yeah,
he's a superhero.
It's I can't even understand.
Maybe he's more of an anti-villain.
And do you remember the creeper?
He's good.
Do you remember it's the creeper hunter, and with the Gatling gun?
Yeah,
wasn't he from
I don't even know. The movie's it is
a disaster comic. They were clearly making fun of the whole franchise.
Bad. Yeah.
And I think this was just as somebody else purchased the rights to this movie, and they just said, we're going to make this a goddamn
joke. It was directed by the same guy.
Because number 4 coming out looks legit, and they acted like 3 never even happened.
Yeah, they should. It was horrible, and we wasted. I mean, look, it wasn't a waste. We paid a lot of money to see one.
It's not a waste because I'm watching that movie again.
Well, good for you. I'm not joining.
Are you going to watch number 3 again?
But
that's what I just said. I'm watching number 3 again.
Oh, I thought you were talking about 4.
So that leads
we're
us.
We're gonna have a viewing party for number 4.
So that leads us to number 4 that's coming out. September 19th, 2022. Jeepers Creepers Reborn, brand new cast, except the Creeper is the same guy.
It's his origin story.
And what's his name? The actor?
Jonathan Breck.
Jonathan Breck's coming back.
Really?
Other than that, nobody
really?
else. That's my understanding of it. Yeah, but everyone else is new. But it's
his origin story. It's about him growing up.
So on a scale of 1 to 4,
he was a nice boy at one point.
He was a little creep. That's what the movie's called. Little creep.
No, he was a creeping creature, which are our followers like you, our soon-to-be Patreon members.
Can't get enough of this.
Creatures.
Yeah.
2 episodes in, and I'm hooked. I'm just.
Yeah, it's good.
So all right, 3 was a disaster. So much so they released it the week of it was out in movie theaters and it went right to television. Where of course I watched it again, but I was like, wow, if only I had known. But that memory we made around that movie, The Creep Walks Amongst Us, number 3. I'll never take that back.
That's chilling.
Because you're there with only the diehard Jeepers Creepers fans who somehow found out about it.
All 8 of us.
And you said you could Google that movie. I was duped thinking number 4 was coming out like 2 years ago. And somebody's out there.
Cathedral?
Yeah. Somebody's out there putting out fucking fake trailers or something. And I've been duped in the past about this.
It better be
hell
real.
yeah. And every now and then a fake trailer comes out. Danny texts me, goes, yo, you ready for number 4, dude? And what did he say right after the movie was over? We walked out. And we're standing in front of the poster. Like, yeah, I'll see number 4. we were excited. Like,
we love to just waste our money on that stuff. It's fun stuff.
Oh no, I might actually wait for this one to come out.
So, real quick, what do you give it a scale of 1 to 4? 1 being the worst, 4 being the best.
We're going back to number 1 here.
The first one?
Yeah, we're just going to talk about number 1.
Okay. Now, you want to take. All right, we're not going to take everybody through it. Well, the way I judge it is based off if you've watched it 1 or 2 times, because not everybody watches a movie over and over again, because they're not all weirdos like we are.
Yeah.
I don't watch that movie that much. I haven't seen that. I probably haven't seen that movie in 21 years.
He's starting to regret admitting that he watches that movie 5 times a week. You're not getting out of this. This is Aaron.
I do have a
We have a million.
I mean, you're the resident expert.
Yeah. Don't back out now, dude. Stop.
All right.
So it was not Spookless.
You're a piece of shit. You know that?
It was 2001. I judge a movie based on how it made me feel when it came out.
Let me taste that.
It was good for the first half.
Mm-hmm. I would agree with that.
It was entertaining.
Yep.
It had certain... No, let's go for it. Spookless is a dud. It's got nothing. Spooky means it wasn't really that scary, but it had a moment, correct?
Sure. I'll give it that.
There was a moment. Yep. There was one moment that could have made you feel like, oh, that was kind of weird. This movie definitely did that. And actually did it again. Watching it in the very beginning with the well scene. And then it's way too spooky. So it's Spookless, not spooky. Spooky, way too spooky. I will actually say, I wish I could give something a half a score here.
Yeah.
I'm just judging it based off 2001. And if I watch it, if you have never seen this, it will make you feel weird in the beginning.
Yeah.
I'll just say it's spooky.
I'll agree with you. I'll give it spooky.
Yeah,
I'll give it spooky. I'll give it spooky for 2001 standards.
And I think he's a good character. He's ridiculous.
He's a cool character.
But
they could. I would definitely watch more.
He's
of
memorable.
They should have made him more mysterious.
Yeah. I want more answers on him. Like, what is he?
Yeah,
Give me an origin.
I think some of the story around him, like, it's hard. I tried to think through what you would do with this guy after the first half of the movie too, and it's like, you know, I guess they did their best, but from a character standpoint, he's definitely spooky. And if I knew that thing smelled me out and wanted me,
yeah,
I mean, that's crazy. But at the same time, like, I would also feel jealous if he didn't pick me, because I know he's going to pick Brad because of his juicy peach ass. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Don't quit. Don't quit.
Don't quit.
Dude, I'm telling you, when you guys are in the womb, God's like, this one's getting the big butt.
It's true.
So,
he blessed me with
So, I will say, with the first one, spooky.
Yep. I'll agree. I'll give you a spooky.
Number 2, not spooky. Not too spooky. It was entertaining.
Yep.
I would still recommend it. If you kind of have to see number 2. It was a good follow.
It's a good background movie.
It was.
Like,
number 3 was Spookless.
Number 3 was
not miss much.
Number 3 was a dud.
Number 3 is Spookless.
So this franchise has clearly just been on a downward slope. Let's just hope. Number 4 looks like it was very good quality.
So here's the deal.
But you know what I noticed about the trailer?
What?
No truck.
Good. They need to get rid of that because the third one ruined that.
It's getting an oil change.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Oh.
Then that truck does not pass inspection.
Maybe he kills. Maybe that's how he gets his clothes in this one. He kills the.
They just got to get rid of the Creeper's truck, and I think all of our our issues with like the air quality and the ozone layer are just gone.
That horn of it is.
I wonder if you could get it.
I just imagine him just in there hitting just beeping the horn.
He's all pissed.
He's like, get the fuck out of my way. He's always complaining about traffic.
I'm not gonna lie. Listen,
imagine catching that thing in a road rage incident.
Here's something we completely missed about the first movie that I'm really surprised we haven't talked about. The car. Wasn't it supposed to be her car? It was her car that she went to pick up her brother at college in, correct?
You're talking about his truck?
No, the dairy and the sister.
Yeah.
It was her car. Why every time that she went to try to start that car, it was beep 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 beep.
It's the horror movie tropes. It's her transmission.
No, that was a stick shift car, wasn't it?
Yeah.
She couldn't drive it.
She couldn't get to
But it was
reverse.
her
Stuck in
car.
reverse.
How did she get her to her brother's college?
Because it's 2001 and they still thought women couldn't drive cool stuff. That's why.
But then I like so the other part that made me laugh, where I could see where the creeper. That's going to bring it full circle on why you said the creeper was honking. There's one part in the movie where they take off after the cops.
Yeah.
Something happens to the cops, and she's swerving, and he says, "Slow down, you're going to kill us." Well, when they cut to the scene outside, it's literally her swerving. So maybe that's just what the creeper was pissed about. Maybe she couldn't drive.
Maybe, and I believe all these answers will come to fruition in the fourth one.
They better answer that one.
So again, September 19th, 2022.
We will
it
have
is,
a
Jeepers
post-
Creepers
You wanna
4
watch it? You can
Reborn.
Let us know.
And Brad, if you
Oh,
can be
that's
there
good.
for that, because we're going to immediately have a post reaction one to that movie. Now, what we like to do on this is we like to pair a drink with every movie that we watch. That
Any
makes
type
it-
of drink.
Now, this movie could be something that you took away from the movie, but to me, it's something that made you feel what you would associate with that movie. And I'd like to apologize because, Chris, the hate mail we got in for totally forgetting to do this with Terrifier.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I almost gave up listening.
I forgot to tell you that if you watched Terrifier, please go in the basement of your grandfather's basement or in an old bar.
Anywhere.
Or,
really.
and dust off that plastic bottle of warm
my
Bankers
gosh.
Club gin or Vladimir vodka.
Yeah.
And just take a slow sip of it. Because that's what
Oh,
I would
God.
associate with that movie. And
Old.
listen,
old
I'm not gonna
whiskey.
lie. I wanted to listen to a little bit of the last episode just to see how we sound. We're pussies. I take back everything I said. Art the Clown's the man. I loved him.
What?
No, I'm just kidding. But no, he was. It was good, but you're not gonna have a nice fine drink with that movie. Bankers Club gin for that.
So fast forward to this movie. What was you?
Now this is something that was presented to me. I'm not really a big wheat beer guy, but this is a blood orange wheat beer. It was from some Jack's Abbey craft brewery up in, I don't know. Somebody gave it to me. It was up in Boston area. Now,
So
I like this
gifting it.
because it's August 31st. It's still the very end of summer. I'm not quite going on the fall beers yet, so I kind of have that wheat feel.
Sure.
Because it has that vibe when you're going through it.
Yeah.
It's unique, like I thought Jeepers Creeper was for its time.
Ooh.
And it's blood orange because this guy kills a lot.
Yeah.
There's blood in it.
Jeepers Creepers does give me that like late August, early September vibe.
It's unique.
It's got that. It's hot out, but it's bearable.
Yes.
And this, you have the windows running on a highway, and this thing just wants you.
Yeah, like this
You
is
know?
a good blood orange wheat beer, if you ever asked me.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going with this movie.
So say the name of it again.
This is Jack Abbey's Craft Lager, blood orange wheat. And I'm going to say this right now. I'm not really into like the wheat beers. I like IPAs. I like light beer. But this is
Long
pretty
walks
good.
on the
This
beach.
is a good blood orange.
All right. I'll have to give it a shot.
No, I have 4 here.
You know what?
That's
You
good
know
drink.
what?
Perfect.
You know what?
Thank you.
Drink comes to mind for me when I think of the creeper, like a Jack and Ginger.
That's a good one.
Like
Jack-
it's just kind of like
Fizzing in your mouth.
yeah, it's Jack and Ginger.
And it's getting you.
Because at first the Jack, it's Gentleman Jack. Because when you see him at first, he has duster in his hat. He's a gentleman.
Well, you know what? And sometimes
He
a
pops
certain
out, he's
drink
Mr.
comes
Hyde.
to you. And I would say on the next,
Wow.
because you're going to come back as a guest,
Yeah.
you have to, even as the guest,
Yeah.
you have to provide that for us. And we have to honor what you bring to the table.
totally
and
bring
we will
that
drink it. That's why, vice versa, you guys are going to have someone. So, yeah, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
he did.
Oh, you mean
Yeah.
the stripper cop? What did she call him?
I like that there's an animal out there. If someone just told you in the news, like 6ABC, Jim Gardner says, there's a creature out on the loose, and he just likes to hunt for your body parts, specifically, like one body part. It's a little creepy.
I'd go out there like that girl in what scary movie, like, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for?
So anyways,
Oh, no. If the news started saying something that was like that was really going to scare me like that, I'd probably just wear a mask.
Well, there's a part of me that would be like, oh, well, that's bullshit news. I'm not believing that. We'll see what's happening.
so anyways, this is all the time that we have here
but Chris,
today.
you did not tell me what drink you'd pair, at
what
least with
drink
the
would you
first
pair?
one.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
You don't have to have it. Tell me what you would do.
I would drink probably what you're drinking, like a wheat beer of some sort. It just reminds me of the end of summer. It's a little heavier, like a fall or beer, but
Yeah.
it's just one heavy one. And you're good. You got a little buzz going. You're driving down a highway, and this thing's coming after you. It's
Yeah.
good. It's a good bad feeling, right?
Maybe he was drunk the whole time. Did we ever
You just
consider
hear
this?
that horn. and That's
Bam,
it.
bam.
Well, anyway,
Put that in post production.
Brad, this was fun.
Yeah, man.
We're always glad to do something for our super fans.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we don't respond to every email or
No.
message, but
We'll have to. Well, excuse me. Oh man, this beer. We're gonna have to show the tattoo on your back of the creeper that you have.
I don't actually have a tattoo on my back of the creeper yet.
yes, he does.
But thank you so much for coming
It's on my ass.
to making it to the
This
third
is bite
episode
marks.
of Way Too Spooky, the Jeepers Creepers episode. This has been amazing to talk to an expert.
Yeah.
You know, I grew up with this kid. He's my twin brother, and yet I didn't even know that he was in the closet about this. He came out to us when he was 16, but being just an absolute Jeepers Creepers monster fanatic.
I was
right?
like, dude, it's cool. It's cool.
Yeah, man,
Come here, talk about it. That's all. That's all. That's the first thing.
Dude, we're
I said to him.
accepting. We're accepting.
Yeah, and I will say
I
this.
feel like I have a safe space.
It's LGBTQ and C, which is for creeper now, right?
he has no idea. He doesn't identify as anything. It depends on what he eats that day, Chris.
I'm talking about Brad.
Oh.
Anyways, this is all.
Statement still stands.
This is all the time that we have for today. But anyways, thank you so much for coming.
And we're going to be
Absolutely, guys.
back next week with one of my favorite all-time classics, and perhaps the greatest horror author of all time, where this book came from. So we're looking forward to it. Thanks a lot. Hey, and I hate doing this, but if you're
that
listening
clip?
to this, just hit that subscribe button. And we're now officially on YouTube now. So just like our
Don't
bullshit.
smash the subscribe button.
You slash
the
that.
subscribe button.
Yeah.
All right. That's all the time we have. Thank you so much. This is
All right.
Connor, Chris,
And
with
thanks,
our guest Brad.
I'll be back.
Yeah,
Take
we
care.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right. Bye bye.